What's going on, gamers? Today we're back with some more Outriders Worldslayer. What we'll be covering today is the best way for you to be farming for those legendaries and getting your hands on those good rolls. So if you want to know how to get the best gear, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, everyone. If you're like me and you've been trying to get your hands on a really nice set and you're not having much luck because it's a nightmare to farm these new apocalypse gear, then I'd say this is definitely the best way. Now, if you enjoyed this video, as always, a thumbs up be appreciated, and if you'd like to become a member of the channel, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for now, if you're trying to get your hands on all of these apocalypse type gear, as you can see here, I've been farming like crazy and getting my hands on an abundance of apocalypse gear. If you're trying to get your hands on the best items in the game with those tier 3 mods, they're actually quite hard to get with perfect rolls. So knowing how to get an awful lot of them because of the variants on the third slot, just down the very bottom, that's going to be random. So we're going to be trying to get our hands on as much of this loot as possible. The best way I've found by far at the moment is by getting yourself all the way to the very end game. In order to do that, you have to progress through the campaign until you've finished it all off and made your way just over here to Outriders. This is a brand new area to Outriders, very much endgame content. In the same vein as a dungeon, this can be run just like expeditions as much as you'd want. So once you have progressed to Outriders, there's going to be different options and different paths in which you can take, leading you to different areas. If there's a certain piece of armour or item you're missing, say for example down here if you look at the boots, or just over here your target loot's going to be gloves, that's absolutely ideal if you're missing just certain gear types. However, the main thing you're going to want to be doing is progressing your way through the trial. You're going to need to make it through bosses, you're going to need to make it all the way through to the very end, fighting off some of the toughest baddies as you go. Remember, if you do need to deviate and you did want to go to those troves, you very well can do, but I would say probably the best option is just making your way straight to the very end, to Father's Sanctum, the final trial. Once you make it here, it's basically the final boss of this area. You can take him on singly or you can take him on a team, it all depends how good your build is, but I'd probably say at the start it's definitely best to take him on with a team, as you may well struggle. It can be quite a tough encounter if your setup's not great. Once you have managed to take him down, what you're going to notice is that you're going to every single time be rewarded with a guaranteed drop of apocalypse gear. And you can choose, very much like when you're playing Eye of the Storm, you can choose from 3 variants that you're given. So like you can see here, you're going to select your reward. What you're going to do is pick the item that's the best one for yourself, obviously if you need a certain gear set, and keep an eye out for those tier 3 mods. The god rolls you're after most times will be the ones with the really nice tier 3 mods in the apocalyptic third slot. Also on the floor there'll be an abundance of loot to pick up, as well as pretty much every time I've done, a few legendaries. Pick those up and then just return to your lobby, either singly or with your squad, whatever way you want to do it. Now, because you've returned to the lobby, it's very much like you're retrying that same area. So you're going to go back in and it's going to class it as another attempt. So the more attempts you've got when you get here, the more times you can do this over. Exactly the same again, you're going to take on the boss, you're going to defeat them, you're going to be able to select that reward, and you're going to be able to nab all the goodies that's on the floor. Trust me, this is well worth knowing, as even with being able to do this, trying to find some of the best gear in this game can be very, very difficult, as that third mod slot will usually roll something that's probably not exactly what you're after. With a bit of luck on your side and a bit of trial and error, this is by far the best way to gear up and to get those god roll items. As always, gamers, let me know how you guys and girls are getting on. There'll be plenty more Outriders content from me. For all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on the next day.